Hey everybody, it's Alberto from the All Juve cast coming at you with a little bit of a rumor roundup per se, as there's been a lot of buildup on news just coming randomly surrounding Juve. So let's start off with something that's good. I'm totally fine with Chiellini and Buffon going to extend for another season. Absolutely fine with that. Loyalty reasons, as far as the goalkeeping in this mercado, the way it's going to work, especially coming on the other side of the pandemic, yeah, let's just keep him there. Buffon, even at his age, is probably the best backup goalkeeper back there. So let's keep him. Chiellini, absolutely keep the experience. He's starting to get a little bit of an injury issues and woes. But yeah, one more season. Let's bring in hopefully Romero and groom him with Chiellini being there as well. So I like that. Couple of new things that come up. Higuain apparently unlikely that he is going to return, or yeah, kind of this news that he's going to stay as a future with the club seems distant with Juve. And this one has they've come out and said that no, this isn't true. But then there's also been reports coming out saying that yeah, there might be something to it. We know he took off to be with his mother, who's not doing well. We all know how highly emotional Higuain is, and the talks were ramping up about him and his future with Juve, and it possibly coming to an end. So maybe something to look into and buy into a little bit. That maybe he's just taken into consideration how his mother's doing, doesn't see a future in the club, and maybe he's just deciding, you know what, that's it. Who really knows? But I don't think it's as far fetched as some are making it out to be. Never really know. He's a highly passionate, highly emotional guy, and he's dealing with a lot with his mother being ill. So you just don't really know. Next step, Chiesa. Chiesa reportedly has an agreement. Apparently, Juventus has reached an agreement with his father on a 5-year contract, but apparently the transfer fee is above 60 million euros. Now, this I'm not buying into, and I hope I'm right because 60 million euros is quite a bit previous to the pandemic. Now that we're going to be on the outside of it after lost revenue and whatnot, it's far too much for Chiesa. Not only that, but we have players that we need to get rid of, and let's work the swap type deals to our advantage. To do this, to me, seems outrageous, and I'm not going to buy into it. But I mean, this is just it's wild and a bit out of the blue, but that money, should something like this happen where it's just a clean sum of money, it can't be for Chiesa when you are talking about priorities being Donali or Pogba. Pogba, same thing. We got to work swaps to make that happen. So I just don't see this Chiesa thing amounted to anything at all. And if we were gonna, and it was gonna be straight sum of money, that sum of money needs to go to Donali, plain and simple. Arkadiusz Milik has come up now as being reported as a first choice attacker to lead Juve next season. Now, Milik, I have no issue with him as a player. He's a good player. I just think there's, with whenever all these rumors kind of ramp up with some of these other players, you got to go there. If he was like a plan B, something like that, I'm okay with that. If all else fails and we end up with him. But, if the rumors are coming out that he's our first choice, that makes me a little worried. And are we going to be able to work swaps in that deal to make it advantageous? We really need to get rid of the dead weight we're carrying. That needs to be as high a priority as the guys we bring in. So Millet, I mean, as a plan B, I'm okay with, but I don't think first choice, not in my opinion. Gabriel Jesus, Timo Werner, Mauro Icardi. These are some of the other guys that are being brought up. So Timo Werner, I would love, out of those three, Werner and Jesus, for me, those got to be the guys we got to fire for. Timo Werner, unfortunately, I believe will end up at a Premiership club. I feel like that one's a long shot. Gabriel Jesus has had more and more links and rumors continuing with Juve. I like that. I want to hear more of it because, they're not taking these things out of nowhere. I know everybody wants to focus on sources sometimes. I like to just discuss things hypothetically, and that's what we're doing here right now. But as the talks come up more and more, there's more to it. And talks came up of Bonucci swap for Gabby Jesus, and a lot of guys were all over it. A lot of Juventini were like, yeah, do it. Take it in a heartbeat. I am reluctant. I say no. I want to keep Bonucci. I have Bonucci on one of my untouchable lists for players we need to keep. And the reason is we've got Chiellini, going to stay, but he's starting to get his injury woes. Demirel and De Ligt are still growing. They're at a high level right now, but still, they're going to be growing. And if we have an injury, and Chiellini, he's losing his reliability. Who's coming back? Rugani. But then the talk is if Bonucci leaves, we get Romero in. Well, if Romero comes in, he needs to grow still. So if we found ourselves in a situation like we did this year, how strong and confident would you be in Romero being able to step in? That's how I look at it. I'm not that comfortable. The other factor I'm thinking about is we have far too many players that we need to get rid of. So we need to work swaps involving those players, not players that are locks at, starting 11 currently. Yeah, I mean, I totally understand people that think we could spare Bonucci, but I would rather push for some of the mids we have to spare or the forwards that we have to spare, especially guys that have had issues with injuries. So let's look at that instead. Icardi. Icardi seems highly likely that it could happen. However, I just don't see Merda making this an easy deal. So I have my doubts that Moro's coming. Not only do I have my doubts, but I just don't want that to happen. I don't want Mauro Icardi coming to Juve. A lot of fans have their opinions with Wanda, and obviously just the amount of drama that surrounds those two. But I don't think that's necessarily going to be an issue for Juve. We've had that concern with some previous players, but Juve's always been able to handle that and manage that and get the players to come in and buy into the better of the club. So I have faith in Juve in that sense. I just personally think we need to go to a more versatile forward. That's why I'm looking at, Timo Werner, Gabby Jesus, and saying these need to be our first choice attackers to lead Juve. And it's another reason why Milik for me would be a good plan B over even Icardi, which I would make that choice if it were between those two. And I know that that's probably an unpopular opinion. But this kind of wraps up this quick little rumor roundup I wanted to do. I really want to hear the feedback, though. Reach out. You can follow me on Twitter. It's at AllJuveCast. And let's get the discussion going. That's what it's all about. And hopefully with the season, hopefully not delayed too much longer, we'll get back into the actual podcast and recapping games, and then we can discuss all of these scenarios with all of you. So thanks for taking the time, Juventini. As always, Forza Juve, fino alla fine. Ciao.